I think a lot of times information's not there just because home building for the longest time has been it's been slow to adopt new technology.
Yeah.
And now that we've reached the AI age, there's not that database of information to kind of point to and say, oh, these are the best practices, these are the worst practices, this is good information, bad information.
Yeah.
It's
So let's jump right into this.
Yeah. Well,
So
welcome to another episode of Architecture Distilled.
yeah, and this one I think is going to be pretty interesting. So let's just dive into it. Imagine designing a home in minutes instead of months, and the designer isn't human. AI is reshaping architecture. But is it the next great tool or the end of creative control? So with that being said, I think we're going to dive into talking about AI and how it is either reshaping architecture, or is it really, or how are we going to use it? So kind of defining the landscape, potential benefits, the risks and limitations. So I think we can kind of dive into some of those topics, and then we can also talk about maybe some of the current firms out there that are using AI. So some of these bigger firms that like Zaha Hadid and all them, what they're doing with it, how they're implementing stuff. So yeah, so
Okay, so let me
What is
let,
AI?
let- yeah let, let
Yeah.
let me start off here by asking or saying that there are two types of AI, right? We have what we call now is really a difference engine that is
Mhm.
trying to make the best guess of what the output is supposed to be versus general artificial intelligence that is truly a self-conscious kind of thing, right?
yeah,
Right now
I
we're
guess,
not
like-
there.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
at this difference engine kind of
Mhm.
state.
yeah, and that's where it's more of like it
Yeah.
needs,
It needs our input.
it needs our input.
AGI does not
but
need
it
our
also
input.
needs-
Yeah.
It's only going off of what's out there.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I mean, it's just
It's not basing it off of anything like brand new or
Yeah.
anything.
it's not inventing anything at
Yeah.
the moment.
It's just
Like-
pointing out
Yeah.
certain
Yeah,
things
so-
that could work.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
don't know. Do we jump right? I tell you right now. Being on the older side, I've only been using AI as kind of I've been using AI image generators as kind of like a sounding board or ideation kind of thing to like,
Figuring
I could come
things
up with
out.
50 different color schemes and whatnot real quickly, even though
Mhm.
none of them, the buildings that it'll show you aren't going to be realistic. There's always
Mhm.
going to be something wrong with them, where
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
not the right shape. So that's all I've really been using it for
Mhm.
is just idea generation.
Yeah.
Just, helping
Which is
conceptualize
very
things.
helpful because
Yeah.
we spend when we're sitting down to do a project, and coming from the conceptual side, 'cause I spend a lot of my time there. We're trying to figure out ideas, right? Like, well, what should we do? They said they like brutalist architecture, or they like mid-century, or they like whatever. So a lot of times we'll sit there and just scour the internet, right? A lot of
Mhm.
times Architizer, Arc Daily, what's a few others, Dazine or whatever.
Yeah. There's,
The
So there's-
original Pinterest.
Yeah, Pinterest. So we spend time like trying to figure out or grabbing images basically. And we take those images and then we sit down as a group and look at them and try to figure out, okay, we like the way this is going. We like this element. We like that element. So a lot of times that's kind of how we create either mood boards or
Mm.
whatever
Mhm.
to start with the design. And I know there was one time that we used AI instead of like going to look for all this stuff. We just typed in like, what did we say for the golf course was like
Mid-century
mid-century modern
Yeah.
with tennis club in mind and all this stuff.
Mm.
So it literally spit out like these images that you that basically explained everything or showed everything that we were looking for in that image. And it actually had a tennis court and all this stuff in it. So like we actually used that as part of the presentation instead of like,
Because these were just conceptualizing.
Yeah.
Like this is not what the building is going to look like because it's.
but it was so much faster because
is
it was
just so
just
much
like
faster,
you literally
yeah.
typed in like what you wanted and it spit out a bunch of images
Yeah.
for you. And it was exactly what we were looking for rather than sitting there on the internet trying to figure out, oh yeah, we like this one. Oh, we like that one. And if with the AI thing, we just typed it in. And if we wanted to tweak something, you just told the AI to like, oh, do this instead of that. And it did it.
Yeah, that's about the only thing I've been using AI for.
I think we used Midjourney for that. I think it was Midjourney.
Midjourney.
And I think that's where AI is at right now. The two modes that it really successfully does is very kind of broad based just to get an idea, or very specific. It's that middle part where it doesn't really meet usually what you're looking for. If you go very broad,
it doesn't
like
fully meet it. Yeah.
You're just looking for an idea. And then so it's able, based on minimal parameters, to generate an idea. And then you can ask it for variations. And then if you needed to get very specific, as long as you're inputting specific information, it'll actually dial in like that answer for you. And I think that's where AI really excels in the idea process. It's just when you're like, you want to be specific, but your inputs are too broad. And then that's where you have that like, oh, I really didn't work for me type of feedback.
Yeah.
You've kind of got to go into it with like, okay, if I need to hone in, I need to hone in with what I'm inputting. And if I need to be broad, I need to switch to a more broad input. So that way I can get that out of it.
Yeah. I haven't really found a perfect, and there probably isn't any yet of like, that just works with what you're trying to like get out,
Yeah.
Like where I was messing with, what was it? Firefly.
Yeah. Adobe's
Oh,
Firefly.
Yeah. I was just messing with that where I could take a 3D, a black and white drawing basically from Revit, put it in there and I told it certain parameters or whatever, but it still didn't really follow those parameters. Or it struggled with it. But I mean, it did a really good job. I mean, people still had a really good reaction to it. I put it on social media and just let people kind of react to like the Revit version where it was nice and shadowed and all that stuff. It just didn't have any materials on it. And then a realistic one. And then I did it like an artistic one. And everybody reacted really well to it. And most people really, really liked the realistic one.
Because it looks like a real thing. And there is that issue when you present renderings to a client, regardless of what type of project it is that there's always a fear, and at least in the back of my mind, that you show them something, a photorealistic rendering, a client might think, well, they've already made all the decisions. Okay, well, that's not necessarily the.
I mean, that's why they hired us for it.
Well, but then it closes to like, okay, I can't change anything now because they've already made all the decisions. They finished the product. It's done. I can't make. Okay, well, that wasn't our intent. That's just a fear and it's happened to me before. You know,
I don't know, because the way that we do it at my current job is like, typically we'll design it. Unless it's conceptual, we'll design it to almost the exact materials that we're planning on using. And typically we'll give that right to the client. And typically that's what we do. Now, there's some iterations of changes and whatnot, and sometimes it's due to pricing. But typically that rendering is what we're going to build. And that's the end product. So there's some back and forth on that.
Yeah.
I can see.
Yeah.
Anyways.
We're on the rendering side, we're using AI to supplement the rendering process.
Mm.
So like very simply, like
Just adding
grass.
in. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
grass is a very complex thing to do in rendering
So
software,
mainly
especially
the
to make it.
landscaping.
Yeah. So what we do is we render everything else, but the grass is actually filled in with AI to make it look more natural and stuff, and then and some lighting things. So we're using AI not to do nuts to bolts, but just to kind of supplement some of the details of the rendering.
Yeah. To make it look more realistic. And feel
Yeah.
more realistic.
Yeah, I've seen some. There's a lot of AEC, architecture, engineering, construction. There's a lot of AEC industry AI companies out there.
Mm.
I've seen them where you can. I think Autodesk recently bought them. I can't remember what the name of the original name of the company was, but where you provide the software with a property boundary and say, I'm going to put an apartment complex here, and here's how many parking spaces I need to have per unit, and here's how many units I need to have, and blah blah blah, and then it'll just let you stretch buildings around and
Yeah.
pre-populate things.
That's called test fit, I think.
No,
right?
it was originally called Test Fit. I think Autodesk
Yeah.
has recently purchased them, but
Maybe.
so that's just one. I've seen some where simply it's, hey, we're going to help you design an apartment unit. Where you say, I need 3 bedrooms or 2 bedrooms and have this many bathrooms, and it starts throwing iterations of floor plans at you.
Mm-hmm.
I've not seen one that actually work yet.
Yeah.
There's always a door swinging into something,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't make any sense,
But I mean,
And
if
those
it's
are,
just
once again,
conceptual,
there's just idea generators.
if it's just
Again,
conceptual.
it's just an idea generation.
But how do we get that from so you have the AI that's helping us conceptually, but what's our biggest struggle, I guess, in the AEC industry? Isn't it more production side of it's finding good production people right now?
Yeah.
People that can just, pump out the drawings.
Yeah.
Well, and then the problem is with that is that, okay, what do you want your drawings to look like? What level of detail? If you want something highly detailed, somebody who's never studied architecture, maybe somebody who's not trained in architecture might not be able to draw that very well for you as somebody who's just coming from a CAD company that they might not understand what you're trying to do,
But could AI
I don't know.
Could AI
I
do
don't know.
that
I don't know.
for you?
Well, I think
I guess if you could program in what
Somebody-
level of
Yeah.
detail you
Yeah.
want,
I think the biggest barrier for AI, especially in home building, is it has to have a database to go off of information and things. And
And that's
unfortunately,
where
we're in
that
a-
could be
yeah.
proprietary information rather than
Well, I think a lot of times information's not there just because home building for the longest time has been it's been slow to adopt new technology.
yeah.
And now that we've reached the AI age, there's not that database of information to kind of point to and say, oh, these are the best practices, these are the worst practices, this is good information, bad information.
Yeah.
It's just here's
So
the
what
information we have.
Yeah.
yeah.
So what I'm hearing is more of you need that database,
Mhm.
whether that's internal or external. You need that database in order for the AI to,
Right.
to
You have to
produce
train your
those
own
drawings,
AI
basically.
yeah.
So then it's more it's probably firm by firm, rather than an
Yeah.
overall. I mean, just when we're trying to create our templates
Mhm.
for Revit, that seems to be an issue.
Yeah.
That's where I'm working. It just
The-
can't seem to
because there's
get it
so many
down.
things you can or can't put in.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it,
Yeah.
how heavy do you want it to be?
Yeah, we've worked with a company called Parallax to help create this template. Well, they create a template that would probably work for anybody, but when it comes down to our firm, it's man, we just need these certain things. We don't need all of this because we're focused on this and we're trying to pump these drawings out.
Mhm.
So it's just, I don't know. It's just, I feel like AI could help
Yeah.
with all of that. It's just how, how to
Yeah,
get
I
that.
think you have
do.
to train your own
Yeah.
company has to train
I don't have
the
that
AI
knowledge.
engine for what you need.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the latest thing with AI technology is going beyond the public chat GPTs and Perplexity and all these other AI agents is what they call private AI, which means you start with a base code, you bring it in, you make it private, run on your own servers, but it's your AI, and then you program it and you start fine tuning it to what you want it to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's that's where
And
it's
then
going
the
to get
AI hacks
interesting.
itself.
Yeah.
And taking over the world. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're asking what the Andrew. You're asking what our biggest problems are, issues are in the AEC. You know, aside from the fact that the entire industry is about 100 years behind every other manufacturing industry, we move at a snail's pace for an industry that's always trying to go faster, right?
Yeah.
One thing that
I think we're just getting our own ways. I don't know.
we
That's
we,
another
we absolutely
argument.
do. We absolutely do. The almighty dollar gets in the way.
Yeah.
Um, one thing that I don't struggle with it, but it's a difficult task is code analysis.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, there's
see, that would be
there's
very helpful.
upcodes.
Yeah.
Upcodes is a not new, but it's a
Mhm.
AI backed platform for code research and documentation.
Mm.
And it's really been the first AI thing that's not an image generator that I'm thinking that
Mhm.
might actually be useful. I don't need the AI to write my emails.
Have you used it yet? Like,
I've messed with it. I've not actually purchased it.
Yeah.
I've gone in and looked at it, and it seems to be pretty robust. You know, I haven't looked at their quality disclaimers. You know, like what if they miss something in the code and then you're in violation? You know, I haven't looked into that yet. You know, but it's been the first thing that I've really thought maybe I could really use that.
Mhm.
You know, because I don't need AI to write my letters and emails and proposals and stuff like that. I've just been doing
Yeah.
it for long enough that I know how to talk.
Yeah,
and
you know
write.
how to do it.
You know, maybe somebody who's newer in the industry has never written. Maybe they could do that. You know, but
yeah, I like for my everyday use, I use it every once in a while to help write an email. Because sometimes I just struggle with that. But that's just the way that
everybody's
I
got
work,
their own.
But
You know,
so I use it and it helps out a lot. It speeds up things for me, so I'm not just spending time on that. And then proposals. I've seen maybe easier. I used it for Distilled Homes, writing up the business plan.
yeah, the base of the
very
business
very
plan,
helpful there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So and it was pretty robust, and it pointed out some things that we didn't think about.
Mhm.
And I was able to ask it, like, what else can we think about and do? And it spit out, information. And it was like, oh, yeah, we should think about that. Of course, I use it every once in a while to kind of help guide some of these episodes too, like just questions or stuff like that maybe I didn't think of or
yeah.
plan or whatever. So I use it for a lot of
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, writing up stuff. But that's pretty basic stuff, and anybody could use it, in the AEC industry or even outside the AEC.
Yeah.
So mainly, I think we're trying to, for us right now, I think we're trying to focus on like what does this all mean for the architecture?
Yeah.
So trying to distill that down.
Yeah. Personally, I think I'm not worried about AI. There's a lot of people worried about AI taking
I'm
their
not
jobs.
really either.
Yeah.
Until we reach that AGI, that it can actually think on its own and create, and not right now. AI doesn't create; AI regurgitates.
Mm-hmm.
So until it can actually create, I'm not worried about it. And by the time that happens, I won't
Yeah, you'll
remember
be
anyway.
around.
That won't
Yeah.
matter anyway for me. But
Or maybe we can be one of the first companies that
Yeah.
gets there and like we're not.
yeah, I mean, I really see AI, for it, there's not going to be an AI for the industry. I think AI will start speeding up, not speeding up. AI will start augmenting construction analytics, and it'll start augmenting construction itself. I think we're already using it to augment and help establish baseline concepts for, like we've been talking about, for design.
For faster concept.
Yeah.
development and
So
stuff
I
like
mean,
that.
I at some point,
I guess it could also be used for like when we're creating layouts. Let's say we created a layout. I guess we could pump it into something and just say, hey, is this the most efficient way? Or is this like, is there something else that we're not thinking about that needs to be implemented
Yeah.
into this layout or design? Like I could see that
Yeah.
being used that way too, of like kind of an analysis or whatever.
Well, yeah.
Mhm.
See, I would like to see what I would like to see, and it's probably already in its infancy, is just a code analysis of a floor plan.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, look
code,
here.
Yeah.
Either it's code analysis or even just like purely like I don't want to say feng shui or whatever. I don't know what the word I'm
Certain
looking for
parameters
is.
you're looking for in the drawing and layout.
Yeah. Maybe there's a better way of like circulation
Mm-hmm.
or a better way of like, oh, maybe the bathrooms are better over here than over there or something like that, like, and then, yes, of course, like, do I have enough exiting? Do I have enough bathrooms? Do I have enough of
Yeah.
this? Like, that would be great if
Yeah.
we just
Do I
pump
meet
it in there and be
accessibility
like,
standards? Do I meet fire code standards?
Yeah.
Do I
Yeah.
meet, yeah.
now see that stuff that's so tedious in our jobs that you could spend a whole week or two
Mhm.
just like analyzing, or somebody can analyzing all that stuff. And if somebody, you could just put it in a thing and
Mm-hmm.
That'll
It
open up
says-
more jobs for
Yeah.
not individual jobs for people. It will open up, like, I'll just give an example. I don't do hospitals.
yeah.
Okay, it's a very specialized thing. You have to
Mhm.
know
Oh, yeah.
the
I didn't even
codes
think
in
about
and
that.
out.
Yeah.
I don't know them, but if AI got good enough at code research,
Yeah.
and
Well, now it's there.
and now I
Yeah.
can do a hospital because I can trust the AI to
Yeah.
help me with that code stuff.
because there's
just like some-
firms
like
that
I-
specifically do that. So
Exactly.
now,
Just like K through 12.
yeah.
Not everybody does K through 12
Mhm.
because it's an entire, everybody does theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's an entire specialty for getting those hundreds of people in and
Yeah.
out of that theater,
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I can see AI helping actually generate more revenue for a company, is by broadening up their market value,
Yeah.
Eliminating
offerings.
the barriers
a
between
barrier to
projects.
the market, right? Yeah.
I can also see it being used by non-architects.
Mhm.
Let's just say like the client, especially with that test fit program where like, I don't even have to go to an architect now. I can just use this software to basically, okay, here's my property, here's the parameters, pump it all in, boom, there's my layout. I didn't have to go to an architect for it.
Yeah.
I just had to use the software. And like,
Yeah. And if you're a
this
big
AI.
developer that does a lot of apartment complexes, I can see them affording that software to do that and
Yeah.
saving on the back end.
Mhm.
I guess then the other,
now they're saving a ton of money
yeah.
because the architect's not. But
Well, and then your architect,
Yeah.
as an architect, you could have a software of that nature and offer to your clients that I'll do this. I'll spend 2 days and do the analysis for you for free because I'm using a piece of software that's just going to pump them out anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I can offer that to my client for free because they've been my client for forever or whatever,
Mhm.
I think the biggest thing for AI, especially for the AEC industry, is going to be just individual pieces in the process, not just the architecture side, but like evaluating prices on materials, evaluating your labor trade prices, matching up with materials.
Now, see, that'd be
Um,
great.
Yeah.
'Cause that's one of the things, and I feel like with distilled homes, we're kind of going in this direction of
Mhm.
like we'll be able to design and price basically at the same time,
Yeah.
rather than like uh at EGA, like you're designing and then you hand it over to a contractor, the contractor prices it, it comes back,
Mhm.
you do VE stuff, and then it goes
That's
back
right.
out, and then it comes back, and
Yeah,
it just
that-
keeps going.
Yeah.
The traditional backwards way.
Yeah. Which is fine. Like there's that process, but like, yeah, it'd be great. Like if you were designing and let's just say Revit,
Mhm.
like if we're in Revit, like and you're creating everything now gets into a whole nother issue of like how much the model you have to build, right? To get that information out,
Mhm.
it, for it to be accurate. Right.
Yeah.
So there's,
Yeah, I
some
mean,
of that,
I
but-
would love for DH for us to, like you're saying, I would love to be able to sit down with the client and them give us our budget, and by the time the next meeting comes around, we're like, well, here's the layout, and here's
the full
about how much.
design,
Here's what we predict the cost might be at this point.
Yeah. Now, and I could see that also being like, okay, you said, like the client says, like, this is very important to me. Okay, that's great.
Mhm.
Now we can go design it and then be like, oh, it's coming over budget. And mainly because of this one piece that they say is important to them, right? Well, then we can kind of go to them and say, hey, here's the design without that. Here's another way that we could have done it. And maybe AI can help us like figure out another alternative option for them and present it to them. And then they can choose between the two of
Yeah.
like, okay, you've got this over here. You came up with an alternative. It's not exactly what you want, but it's almost there. But it's coming in at your budget. Or you can go with this other option over here with what you want, but it's going to be $50,000 over your budget. And probably 90% of the time, that client would probably be like, well, let's go $50,000 is going to
Yeah.
be a problem, you know?
But you can get
Or
them that
it
faster
might be a
with
problem.
AI.
With AI, hopefully we can give
Yeah.
it to them.
Yeah.
And it's so
Much
it's a quicker-
faster.
The
and
first,
it's
the
right-
first
the
iteration.
information's right
Yeah.
there in
Yeah,
front of
yeah.
them.
And it could get to a point where you make the changes live and get pricing live. That's one of the things that I've been working towards is you draw something, you instantly know a price. So if I make a room bigger, I instantly got a price for that room I just made bigger.
Yeah.
One area that I know AI is going to definitely impact is just builder softwares. A lot of the big builder softwares, ERP systems, data management systems, these things are like 20 plus years old, 30 plus years old. And they're still on old server softwares, just old, data maintenance. AI coding and AI progression is definitely going to change how those operate,
Mhm.
which is definitely going to have an impact on the industry. I think the quicker you are to adapt a newer system, which none exists right now, but whatever comes out, then you jump on that, you're going to create a huge separation from what's out there right now. The problem is so many are bought into the old system. It's very difficult jumping on a new one.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a huge buy-in for whatever comes next.
Well, that's back to the AEC industry, just being behind
Yeah.
the times,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think like anything, I mean, if you look at Revit and versus AutoCAD, I mean, there's some companies that are, purely Revit, and they're surpassing
Yeah.
all these other companies that are maybe on the fence between the two and not, selecting one or the other. And maybe, the others that are not, still on AutoCAD and haven't decided to go, they're falling behind because one, the next generation is of course using the latest and greatest, right? But I think AI is going to be the same way. You're either going to embrace it or you're going to fall behind and other companies are going to surpass you, right?
Yeah.
I think I think that might be the case or
Yeah.
whatever.
I want AI to fold my laundry and whatnot. I don't want it to be creative for me.
Well, it sounds like we need to get you some robots.
Yeah.
But it's,
So that, I think AI is a technology that's going to lift all the boats. So it'll lift not only construction, lift purchasing, lift architecture. It'll also lift, sales, being able to target market data faster and research a lot more faster.
Does that open up the possibilities of being able to focus more on the design and the essence?
Yeah.
Now, like, the thing is, like, can AI truly understand essence, or does it still need us? And of course, your argument, the beginning, your beginning argument of like the, you might have to re-say it again for me, but
the difference engine versus
Yeah,
AGI.
yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yeah, I don't think until we get to AGI, that's not what you're talking. Is not going to happen.
Yeah, but at the same time, once it gets to that point, is it going to be able to still understand that essence?
I think,
Well, that's the whole. The AGI, and my understanding of what AGI would be is essentially a digital sentient being.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can
So it should
understand.
be
It can
able
think
to
on its own.
understand.
It can,
yeah. I think it's still going to have a hard time because there's a lot of subcontext or a lot of times people communicate not even with words, but with just response or um, sometimes we communicate in different ways, excitement, tone, things that are very difficult for
Yeah.
AI to pick up.
Will
Mhm.
yeah, and will that sentient
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
piece be
sometimes,
able to
yeah, sometimes we like
depict
something
that?
and we can't explain why.
Yeah.
You can be like, I like that. Why? I'll have, I don't know. There's just something
Just
about it.
something about it
Yeah.
does not
Yeah.
sit
Yeah.
well with me or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess
And I guess, AGI, is it going to have like us flabby humans? Everything we do is influenced by everything we've done or
Mhm.
seen or been subjected to, whatever, our entire history. AGI both does not have any history of its own
Mhm.
and has
Mhm.
the entire history of humanity at its fingertips.
Mhm.
How
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
what is that going to do when you ask AGI something? I mean, how
Mhm.
I guess how influenced is it going to be by the fact that it was originally programmed by a bunch of biased
Mhm.
meat
Yeah.
bags?
Well, there's talking about that. I mean, there is this one and this is based on something that I heard, so don't like quote me on everything here. But there was a game, I can't remember what game it is, it doesn't really matter, but eventually like they taught or gave the program the ability to learn this game and gave it all the rules, gave it all the stuff, let it watch basically the best of the best and all this stuff. And of course, sometimes it would lose, sometimes it would win when it was playing like these masters of this game or whatever. But eventually it started beating people, and I guess it went up against this one master person, and it did something that I guess nobody would have done, but it was legal
Mhm.
per the rules. But for some reason, everybody wouldn't do it that way based on maybe the way that they learned the game over the
Because of
years.
everything they've ever done in their
But
past.
because
Yes.
the AI was able to depict certain things or understand the rules and whatnot, and it did these certain things, it was able to blow everybody's mind
Yeah.
because like it went around some of the like maybe the I guess
There's
the
mental
human
block. Yeah.
Yeah.
the human mental blocks. I guess is the
Mhm.
best way to put it.
It's
Can't
just like the
remember.
medical field. You got the doctor doesn't know everything that's ever happened everywhere on the planet.
Mhm.
Yeah,
AI can.
yeah. As
So it
long
can
as it's
di-
out there.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. As long as it has access to whatever information is available, it can potentially diagnose faster, right? It's
Mhm.
already diagnosing breast cancer faster.
Mhm.
It's doing all these things faster.
Mhm.
Why, a video game or whatever makes perfect sense to me that I'm not bound by my biased against the rules or whatever.
Mhm. I
Yeah,
I
it's
think
not just my bias against the rules, but my bias based on what I've been taught by maybe
Exactly. Yeah.
the master that taught me or
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever.
the construction process, if AI can analyze that process and everything that's going into it, it could eventually point out like, hey,
The
if you just
inefficiencies.
scheduled this differently or ordered things this way, you could actually speed up process.
Or switch the schedules
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
of like
Well,
the
that's
process.
well, we started that as humans. We started that. It's called lean.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the a lot of construction companies will be like, well, you do foundation, then you're gonna do framing, then you're
Mhm.
gonna do this, then you're gonna do this. Well, okay, well, no, we can get the plumber in there while the framing's still going on.
Yeah.
If you really want to be efficient,
Mhm.
Yeah.
if you really want to be efficient. So, I mean, yeah,
Well,
I mean, I can see
yeah.
AI taking that lean construction methodology and scheduling and just amping it up.
Lead time. That's a big one,
Lead time.
especially with the supply chain. Luckily, it's gotten better, but during COVID, supply chain was a big thing.
Yeah.
If you bought this
That-
color of brick versus
yeah.
this color, you're waiting like 2 extra months.
Mhm.
So it's one of those things where it could probably take live data and adjust your schedules accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess we talked about bias. What are some other ethical like things that maybe we can think about
Mhm.
that AI might be a problem or not necessarily be a
I don't
problem?
know. I don't know. Ethics are tough. You know.
IP, like you know, what is now intellectual property?
Yeah.
Like, do you own that, or is it technically public just because you used an AI?
Or even just the generation of the
yeah,
whatever the AI generated, like who
It
owns that?
it got that
But
idea from
basically-
somewhere else, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Somewhat, but at the same time, they also think about like, hey, I'm the one that put the question out there,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I asked the question. Now I could have asked the question to myself and went and done all the research and
Mhm.
came up with eventually maybe the same outcome. But instead, like I asked the question and it came up with the stuff a lot quicker, or
Yeah.
did the research for me.
Yeah.
So I mean, in the way, like I'm the one that asked the question, so I'm still the one that like.
Well, isn't the whole in the AI industry? I don't know how you sue an industry, but in the industry facing a gigantic IP lawsuit right now because
I don't know anything.
you
about
ask AI a question
that. Mhm.
and it goes and it finds somebody else's answer and says, "Hey, here's the answer." Well, the authors or whatever are saying, "Wait a minute, you didn't have my permission to use my data. You didn't quote me or
Yeah.
whatever."
But I mean,
I don't know
I
exactly.
guess the question is like, you put that information out there,
Mhm.
so the information is out there regardless, and it's just like,
yeah, but if you've copyrighted it, so like my drawings are on
Maybe.
I've got drawings on Dropbox.
yeah,
Every drawing has copyright thing on it.
Mhm.
Does AI give a shit that there's a copyright on there?
but I mean, the same thing. Like when I'm going and looking at images and trying to figure out ways to design this space or whatever, I'm basically doing the same thing AI is doing. It's just going out there and finding
Mhm.
the information, and now I'm recreating it.
Yeah.
Like,
One of my favorite professors in the world, his name was Alan Stasel at A&M.
yeah,
He said, taking something from one person is theft. You take something from a bunch of people, it's research. So is that
But
what we're
isn't-
talking about?
but isn't that what AI
yeah,
is doing?
that's kind
It's taking it from.
Yeah.
It's not just taking it from one place. It's
Yeah,
taking it from.
I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a difficult question.
And the other thing is like, and I live by this. There's nothing new under the sun.
Mhm.
It's all comes from some place, somewhere. It's just, this book talks about it a lot of like everything out there somebody thought of. It's just like, those times when you have like that idea, like, oh, like if I created this and did this, it could do this. Well, you didn't act on it. 10 years down the road, there's somebody making billions of dollars off of that idea that you thought of 10 years ago. It's just that person had the same question and thought, but they acted on it versus you just sitting on it and saying like, oh, I had this idea and like, oh, but the thing is, and that's where I come back to that thing. It's like nothing is really new under the sun because there's stuff that's passing through our minds and around us, things that are happening that sparks certain questions within ourselves that
It's bound to
eventually
spark somebody else.
either somebody's going to act on or somebody's going to think of.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you and that other person are not the only ones that thought of that.
Yeah.
There's probably thousands others that thought of that same idea. It's just that one person acted on it and they weren't afraid to get it out there.
I know
That's my
personal experience on that is that I've got sketches I did well outside of my realm of expertise of a car with a spherical wheel that's controlled by electromagnets. And then a few years later, iRobot comes out, and guess what that Audi's got on it?
Yeah.
Like I've got that sketch from.
Yeah.
When
you
I
know, it's just so far beyond
But that's
my
where I-
realm of
like-
expertise. Like, how do I even act on it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
when
But
I was,
somebody
Somebody thought of it.
decided
Yeah.
to take it that much further,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's
When I-
so much.
when I was 8 years
So
old,
the,
I thought that, everything should be Lego. Everything I like, Star Wars should be Lego. My dog should be Lego. Now everything's Lego, and
Yeah.
Lego, waiting for the
Including
check.
movies.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. All my favorite movies are
Yeah.
Legos.
so
Yeah.
back to that question, is that an infringement on IP?
Mm-hmm.
If you write something and AI scours it and gives it to someone else as their answer, is the question that does the AI tell the researcher, the question asker, does it tell the Bob whoever this is a good answer,
Yeah.
or is it saying me as AI says this is a good answer?
Yeah.
Is that the differentiation? Is that
I
it's
think so.
credit or not credit?
I think so.
It depends. There is other AI engines that do link the sources
Yeah. They
for
have
where
the
they got it.
sources of, yeah.
Now it's kind of a general understanding that if you're using a public AI, it's gathering it from somewhere it's someone else's. But that's where the due conversation around private AI has come in, where now it's whatever you input, it stays with you, and then it runs on your
Mhm.
end of the software, and then that way the IP doesn't get
Mhm.
out. And I think that's kind of
Yeah.
the biggest question around
I know
ethical
somebody
use of AI.
that owns not a large company, but a good sized company. And they have rules of how
Hmm.
you're allowed to use the AI. And they have set parameters of like, you cannot put any intellectual property
Mhm.
of ours into like Chat GPT or whatever you're using. It's like, as long as you're not doing that, you can use it. But if you input any of this stuff, like that's a red flag. That's off limits, because that information is not public information. That information is only known with us or within like their industry.
Mhm.
And there are certain things that you wouldn't know unless you were in that industry.
Mhm.
Yeah, coding, IT, and coding softwares. There's a lot of you can use it to build code, but you don't want to put in things that are sensitive or unique to the software that you have.
Yeah.
So I know that's a big thing in the coding space.
Yeah, I got a lot of acquaintances and friends that are in the IT space, and they use AI to help debug, problem shoot, code. They're those are things that the jobs that are going to be lost
Yeah.
first, are
Yeah.
the coding
Well,
jobs.
speaking of that, like job displacement is
Mhm.
another ethical possible, argument that's out there.
I mean,
I think it happens in every at
It
every
happens
point
no
in
matter
history.
what. Yeah.
Yeah, whether it's AI or robots or a new software or a new
Mhm.
system.
plow.
Yeah, new technology.
Yeah.
It's not a question of why it happened, just when, and then it's just a constant adaptation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, was it ethical to reduce your workforce because we built a machine to stamp body parts for cars versus hammering them out individually?
Hmm.
Is it ethical to fire someone because we built a robot that can is it ethical to fire someone because I've got AI that can do your job
Mhm.
400 times faster and millions of times cheaper?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, where do
I mean,
you?
if you look at it, any of these leaps that we've made throughout history have only like dropped the cost of something down, so it's more affordable for
Mhm.
the everyday person, right?
Mhm.
Or it's helped progress things quicker, like you were saying.
But it also has cost thousands and millions of
Yes,
jobs.
but but at the same time, it's always opened up other job opportunities
I guess
that
yeah.
weren't there before.
Mhm.
Yeah, people that I've read something not but a week ago probably. It was like these companies, these big tech companies fired a bunch of people because they wanted AI to do it. Now they're hiring those same people back to reprogram the AI
Yeah.
to do the jobs that they were already doing.
Mhm.
This is sounding awfully weird now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't touched on it, but like not too long ago, those robots came out that can build homes,
hmm
and eventually, AI to build entire homes with robots and things like that. I don't know how much. There's a lot of unique things that go into construction on a site. Just not every lot is flat. Not every lot has no trees around it. Just how there's just so many variables to account just
Yeah.
to have a one-stop
But I mean,
solution.
eventually, maybe one day as it progresses,
Mhm.
yeah, we're paying so and so a certain dollar amount, and that has gone up substantially
Oh, yeah.
since I mean, before pandemic prices,
Mhm.
we're at $100 a square foot.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at $200-300 a square foot, and all of that. It's not necessarily based on the cost of the materials. The
Mhm.
materials seem to be either
They've come down a little.
they've come down a little bit, or or they're back to where they were at.
Mhm.
But labor prices are
Yeah, I mean,
like twice as high
Mhm.
than what they were 5 years ago, right? So but now if we're talking about like robots and AI being able to build these things, and as it progresses, I would think that would drive down the cost of labor eventually, maybe not right away, but as time goes on, that would narrow that back down, hopefully,
Mhm.
and maybe we can start.
just
I don't know.
along the
Just a
same
thought
along
process
that
out there.
lines. If you think about the 200 years from now, 300 years from now, what has AI done for us? What do you think? What does society look like? I look at AI and have two thoughts. I hope we get Star Trek out of it, where I don't have to think about stuff. All I have to do is imagine, create, improve myself, and AI cooks my breakfast and takes care of the quantum physics for me. I don't have to deal. Nobody has to deal with it. Our third graders are learning
If I
quantum
could
physics,
fold
right?
all the laundry in my closet right now.
Mhm.
So in 200 or 300 years, that would be the idea
Ugh.
direction that AI takes us,
Mhm.
and the other direction is Terminator,
I
right?
could have more sleep.
Yeah.
Where in 30 years, AI is, we have the Matrix, or
Yeah.
Terminator. I mean, which way do you see AI going? I don't know. It
Cylons.
depends on who's,
I don't know. Anyways, so I want to kind of go into some of these firms that are embracing AI right now. So I'll just list off a few, and then of course what they're doing. So Zaha Hadid Architects, they're pioneer in architectural AI adoption. So Zaha uses tools like Midjourney, DAL-E 2, and Stable Diffusion for early stage ideation.
Mhm.
Their internal unit, Zaha Hadid Analysis plus Insights, I guess they have like something there, spearheads AI integration into both workplace and design process. AI has significantly boosted their productivity, doubling or even tripling creative output during competition phases, and remains an integral winner proposal generator. So
Mhm.
that's Zaha Hadid Architects. Studio Tim Fu, a London-based studio behind what's been called the world's first fully AI-driven architectural project, a residential development at Lake Bled, Slovenia. Studio Tim Fu employs AI across all project stages, from conceptual design using contextual data sets through detailing and documentation to tools like Urban GPT, a text to model engine. So that's pretty interesting that they took a whole entire project and used AI.
Mm.
But I don't even know how to pronounce this, but I guess they're known as Big.
Mhm.
Known for its bold, sustainable architecture,
Mhm.
Big uses AI and parametric tools to refine urban planning, energy performance and project sustainability.
Yeah.
So Foster and Partners, the high-tech future forward firm leverages AI to analyze environmental factors, sunlight, wind, materials, and optimize buildings from design to sustainability, including notable projects like Apple Park. So that's pretty cool. Other notable firms, I mean, there's Gensler, SOM, Morphosis, and a few others. But
You know what all those
exploring AI.
firms have in common?
What's that?
They're gigantic firms
Yeah.
with a lot of money that they can afford to build their own AI engines and train their own AI models.
Or even just spending the time.
Yeah.
You know,
because
bringing in those
Autodesk has
things.
been doing wind analysis and energy analysis, things like that through Revit and Revit plugins for a while now. And I imagine they are dumping AI into those now. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, that's the one thing that all those firms have in common. They're, you know, small firms, we're going to rely on things like DALL-E and Midjourney and Firefly and all those. We're not going to build our own AI.
Yeah, it sounds like
Well, actually,
like Studio
now,
Tenfu. It looks like
now actually one of the things with
the-
AI and coding and it's made things a lot easier. So now there's some new tools out there. You could actually contextually with AI make your own web platform, web software, web apps, from ground up. No coding experience required.
Yeah.
And you know,
weren't you just talking to a guy that
told
told you about that?
We
should get him on here.
I'm exploring a couple of options because I've always had this idea for this sales tool to integrate with architecture with a whole, you know, nuts to bolts system from end to end. And he was telling me about a tool called Cloud Code, and you can plug in an AI generator and then use it to code the programming and everything. But someone like me can just on a weekend learn it, watch a couple of videos, and start making stuff. And it really enables almost anybody to start thinking and building their own softwares.
Yeah.
If
So
you
as long as you got the idea,
Yeah.
you can kind of start getting it out there without having to
Yeah.
go to somebody else
Mhm.
that has, like, you have to get a coder, like, and then all of a sudden, you know, you get that coder, and then
Mhm.
they're the ones creating it, even though it's your idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Or even
be a
the
lot
coders
there.
now are doing that part, and the price for that is cheaper now.
Mhm.
You know, versus, you know, back in the day, people were paying millions of dollars to code a specific software for, you know, an add-on for their current software. Now the average person is like, "Hey, can I pay you $600 and you write this program for me?" And it's like, "Okay, I can have that now." And it's I think AI and has really opened up a lot of other avenues that will eventually snake back and impact the AEC industry. You know, software generation, looking at scheduling, looking at purchasing, construction processes, and then of course architecture, how we're using it today. There's a lot of little things that it can do that'll eventually amount to a very big thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, AI is going to be pretty helpful. If as long as the actors are good,
Yeah.
it'll be helpful, and if the actors are bad, it'll be helpful for them also, I guess.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm not afraid of it. I worry that there are people out there who don't. I know there are people out there who can't tell the difference between an AI generated video and a not AI generated video.
Yeah, it's becoming
it's gonna
harder and
dupe
harder.
a lot of people into doing some stupid stuff, trying to do something good.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
or present somebody in a bad light.
present somebody in a bad light that is, yeah.
Yeah, then what happens from there? Yeah, there's a lot there.
Yeah.
But
So
I
I'm
mean,
not scared of the AI. I'm scared of the users right now.
Yeah.
I won't worry about the user than the
Yeah.
AI itself.
That's true. At least
Rather
not
be in the
yet.
AEC industry or outside of the AEC industry, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe one day we'll see murder robots or something like that running around. But you know, till then, yeah.
Who knows?
But I mean,
Once
bottom
again,
line,
Star Trek or Matrix? Which one? Or Star Trek or
Yeah.
Matrix? Which
Yeah.
one do you want?
Which one do you want? Or Cylons and
Oh yeah.
Battlestar Galactica. So yeah, bottom line, AI is no longer speculative, right? It's here. It's happening. It's becoming a toolkit and architectural process from creative ideation and sustainability. modeling to documentation and administration. So firms both large and boutique are actively integrating it, and I think it's,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whoever can kind of grasp a hold of it the most, like,
Yeah.
I think is the ones that are gonna,
Yeah.
keep going, and versus the ones that are
You
not,
have to adapt. You adapt or die, right?
Yeah.
And we'll keep using it in our process to make renderings and samples and stuff. So make sure you follow all the socials for us, and you can see
Yeah.
some of those. And
Yeah, we'll put some stuff out there that we're looking at. We'll even, and we really would love to talk to somebody that maybe is a lot more versed in this than we are.
yeah,
Like we only know what we know based on what we've
Yeah.
played around with. I don't think any of our firms are really fully using it, except for maybe certain
Just ideation right now.
Yeah.
That's really it. Yeah.
certain
I do want to
parts.
start looking at, I mean, not to plug up codes, but I really want to look at that, because code analysis is really kind of the bane of our industry. And next to having to deal with people.
Yeah. Well, code analysis and pricing.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get those things to help us out quickly,
Yeah.
I think that would help either
Yeah.
projects to be able to be either built or just maybe even more successful. So yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think this was quite a conversation. I think we hit on a lot of
Yeah. We
things. a lot of
solved all
good
the world's
things.
problems.
Yeah. Every last one of them. Put that out there, AI. So yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you for jumping on with us, and make sure you like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoyed this episode. Yeah, let us know if you didn't enjoy it. Let us know, or if you want to sit down and talk with us about this one, let us know.
All right.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you,
Tell us how
everybody.
Thanks,
you would
everyone.
fight the AI robots in the comments.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Let's
Yes.
go.